this is Navid from Oud for Guitarists, and today I've got a tip for you. It's all about oud pegs. A lot of people have problems with the oud pegs slipping or getting stuck. Yes, this is a big problem with oud pegs, but believe it or not, I've never really had a big issue with oud pegs like this, and the reason is just familiarity. You just need some time with your oud to learn how it reacts to humidity. And so you get the feel of it after a while, and you start to realize how much your oud pegs need to go in, or how tight they need to be. The thing that a lot of beginner oud players do is when the peg comes loose, they get it in tune, and then they push it in after. This doesn't work. It gets loose again. It comes right out. The technique that you need to use in order to get it to stick in is to simultaneously turn and push it in. So you may need to unwind the string a little bit at first and push it in, as well as turning it to tighten the string. And you may overshoot the pitch a bit, or you may be a bit under. That's okay. You can fine tune it a bit later. But you need to remember to apply pressure at the same time as turning it to tighten it. So with that, you need to be aware of how tight it needs to be and how loose it can be. So that's going to vary from humidity to humidity and from oud peg to oud peg, because all pegs are different. Some may absorb more moisture, less moisture. One of my ouds that I have really is sensitive to humidity, so I can tell when the season changes. My oud pegs might be a bit tighter because there's more humidity. Might be looser. Sometimes what happens is it just gets loose and it unravels. That's because all the humidity has come out of the wood, and the wood has contracted. It gets loose. And so what you need to do is you need to readjust it. That's something you just have to do. I've never used any peg compound or anything like that. The thing that I've used is pencil lead graphite, and to put that to make it smoother, so that there's not as much clicking going on with the pegs when you're twisting it and tightening the string. Other than that, you don't want it to get too tight. You don't want it to be too loose, and so you just got to find what works best for your oud, and it just takes some time to get used to the way your oud pegs are. But it is a pain. A lot of people continue to have problems with it, and I continue to struggle. All oud players continue to struggle with oud pegs. But if you have a decent set of oud pegs and they fit well into the holes, then you won't have too many troubles, as long as you're patient and you are used to the way your oud behaves. I'll put some links to some peg compound if some cases you really can't do without. Okay, another thing that you can do in order to more easily put in your oud pegs when you're tuning is when you're tuning the top ones here, you can make sure you can rest the peg box on your knee or on your leg when you're tuning, and that way your oud pegs, you can apply pressure at the same time as turning the peg. Another thing I do when it comes to the bottom pegs, this is a bit more tricky, but this is how I hold it. I put my thumb on the top, and then I use my index finger and middle finger to turn. And then sometimes I use my index finger on the top and my thumb. This is a bit tricky to do. It's hard to get used to doing this, and if your pegs are in really tight, it's going to be really hard to turn it like this. But that's the way I do it, and it seems to work for me. It's all about getting the right tightness and knowing what your peg box can handle, and making sure it's not too tight, not too loose. It takes time to figure out for your oud. Yeah, so there you go. I hope you liked this video, and we'll see you next time.